Police just unearthed horrifying deadly discovery: Muslims had hidden underground for miles. Radical Islam is cancer that has been spreading across the world at an alarming rate. These Muslim extremists have been entering America and Europe under the guise of a humanitarian effort. Instead of liberal politicians doing what they can to protect people in their own countries, they have turned their backs on them. Sexual assaults, theft, and violence has been on the rise wherever there is an influx of Muslims. Law enforcement officials have been doing their best to combat this ongoing threat, but it has been a tough battle. Recently, police have found something so horrifying that Muslims hid underground that it will take your breath away. Make no mistake, folks, we are at war. There is plenty to worry about on a daily basis, but being attacked on your own soil by Muslim extremism should not be one of them. Over the last several years, there has been an increase in countries around the world taking in Muslim refugees. Instead of properly vetting these newcomers into their new home countries, they have waltzed in through open borders. These Muslim refugees are then placed on government assistance, which is a drain on taxpayers in countries around the world. This is perfectly depicted by taking a quick glance overseas. Europe has been invaded by Muslim refugees, and it appears that they are at a tipping point. Law enforcement officials cannot keep up with the increase of violence and terror attacks that seem to occur on a daily basis. If that was not enough to contend with, the French police have a whole new crop of problems after what they just discovered. Muslim refugees in France are now digging what appears to be tiger traps in order to catch police officers at night. However, that is not even the worst of it. At the bottom of these pits are sharp objects intended to further harm the victim that falls through the covered top. According to Pamela Geller, a French reader named Alexander wrote to Geller and sent the following images of holes being dug in the French district of Trois-Ponts in Roubaix. The reader wrote, "French suburbs, New Gaza tunnel? Holes dug and camouflaged to trap police at night during pursuit races." Several testimonies and photographs have been received from the residents of the district of Trois-Ponts in Roubaix. A group of young individuals dug holes 60 centimeters deep on average and covered them to camouflage them. Their goal? Attract police officers in pursuit races at night to trap them. According to several consistent testimonies, these traps worthy of North American trappers contain sharp metal objects to injure police officers. Police officers alerted by the residents were sent to the scene to observe the reported facts. They have confirmed that they have spotted many pitfalls. No official information was provided by the authorities. No one has been arrested for the time being. France, #Muslims #migrants dig, camouflage holes with sharp metal objects to trap #police at night t.co web link #French #riots. Here is one of the holes found that was found intended to trap police officers. This is a sharp object that was found on the bottom of the hole that could seriously harm someone. Here is more from Conservative Daily Post. Apparently, the perpetrators are a group of young individuals who dug holes 60 centimeters deep on average and covered them with sharp objects inside in order to injure police officers at night during pursuit races. The reader told that residents alerted police officers about this issue and they went to the scene to check the reported claims. Alexander explained that authorities confirmed they spotted several pitfalls. Nevertheless, he also said no official information was provided and no one has been arrested or investigated so far. According to the Pew Research Center, France has the second largest Muslim population among European Union members, with 4.7 million people that correspond to 7.5% of the entire French population. Crime rates in the country have increased, and several areas have become no-go zones by Muslim men, who are openly hostile to women presence in public. Given this terrible situation, French women launched a fight back last year to retake the streets in predominantly Islamic neighborhoods, which became entirely male-dominated. In Lyon, which is the second biggest city of France, several reports shows that women are now actively changing their dress in order to avoid being threatened or sexually assaulted by Muslim men. In the matter of Islamic extremism, several investigations have shown that this is a terrible issue that France will keep suffering in the future, given the fact that young Muslims embrace these ideas. It is obvious that France and the rest of Europe has a huge issue with Islam taking over their countries. Even the former president of France, François Hollande, even admitted that they had an issue with Islam. The only way that any of this will end is when politicians abandon political correctness and get tough on Islam. This religion cannot peacefully coexist with the Western world, and it should not have to. If Muslims want to live in third world squalor, they can go back to the desert and practice their third-rate religion there. This is exactly why we need President Trump's travel ban to be implemented quickly. Enough is enough with these liberal politicians standing in the way of the country's safety and their desire for power. If these liberal politicians do not want to stand with America and protect its citizens, then they can be easily voted out and replaced with true statesmen. Share if you are sick of liberal policies ruining America.